tend to interject and inflect and get some things going. You're like, well, that doesn't really sound like that character really say that or do that, or something's missing there. Maybe you should have him do something. You'll pick some things up with that. The cover. Let's talk a little bit about the cover. What time is it? Remember the 3:37. How much is the time? 3:37. 3:37. Okay. The cover of the book is powerful. Here's the deal. The cover of your book is marketing. Let me tell you, if I don't say this a million times, I'm going to say this. Do not, I repeat, do not put your face on the front of your book. Don't do it. How many of y'all want to? How many of y'all thought about doing it? Don't lie. Tell the truth, shame the devil. Even if you put the glamour shots. Glamour shots still around? Yeah, I don't think so either. Don't put your face on the front of the book. Steve Harvey, I get it. Bishop T.D. Jakes, I get it. President Barack Obama, Oprah, I get it. They are recognizable faces, and their faces will sell the product. Me and you, I know I'm fine. Still ain't gonna sell a book. Ain't gonna happen. So remember that your book is a marketing tool. It is your first line of defense. Your book has to sell itself when you're not there. So your cover has to speak volume for the content. So be very selective in the image that you put on the front of your book. And as beautiful and as handsome, as wonderful of you as you all may be, do not do that. I have a client right now who I'm battling who wants to put her face on the front of the book. And as hard as it was for me to say it, I told her, if you insist on putting your face on the book, I'm sorry, I'm not the publisher for you. She said, what? I said, I can't do it. Because I know you're not going to sell that book. And then you're going to look at me like I've done you a disservice. So I'm not going to do that to you. And I'm not going to do that to me because my name is on the back. And even though you don't understand, I understand. Okay, well, I'll think about it. Ain't nothing to think about. I'm not doing it. Now we can put it on the back right here like this. That's it. About the size of your thumb. She's like, I'm not. I said, nobody know you. Vanity, always vanity, as King Solomon said. Let us understand there's logic, there's method to this. You have to have a face that's recognizable. The message in your book should be identified by the cover of your book. So be my. Did you have a question?
Yes. So in the case of poetry, like I get it for fiction, but for poetry.
Can you put yourself on the book because it's poetry?
No, I'm asking what would you suggest? I'm clear on your
clarifying.
Yes. What would you suggest?
What is your title? Do you have a title?
Yeah, life. Excerpts from. Which?
Excerpts from life?
My life.
Excerpts from your life. So what does that mean?
Just kind of a collection of things that I've gone through, experienced, either me or vicariously through people that I've.
So how does that speak to your reader? What does that say to your reader?
In picture format? Other than me? I don't know.
Well, here's what I'm saying. The other part of the cover is your title. You have to make sure that everything you do from your title and your cover has to speak to the reader.
Yeah.
So Excerpts of Life has to speak to the reader. So my question to you is, how does Excerpts of Life speak to your reader?
Yeah. So actually, the full title is Life. Excerpts from things I picked up from a place called life. That's the whole time.
Things I picked up from a place called life. And so it contains poems about everything. Is it for women, for?
I'm so serious. Well, it spans like my college all the way up to like my adult.
So men and women.
So marriage, dating, college, parents.
Relationship.
Yes. Experiences going to the beauty shop, staying in that too long. Like, it's moving. It's like, as I live life, special things that touch me or inspire me to write.
Well, I will say that poetry is the most challenging of the genres because it is so personalized, it's so specific, it's so heartfelt and specific to you. I'd have to think on that only because it is poetry. You don't put your face on it. I'm not giving you a pass for that. But I'm just saying that, and the reason why I say that is because I just wondering a little bit more about your title. Here's why I said that. I had a client who had a book of poetry, and initially her title was My Story on Your Journey. And I told her, I said, I don't understand what that means. Who is it to? What does it mean? How does it apply to the reader? So after we talked for a little while, and she said, well, it's about my journey as a woman, and when I was a little girl, I did this, and when I was this, and I went that. And as we started talking, she eventually said, well, as we progressed on, she said, well, it's about, when I was a little girl, I played with paper dolls, and da-da-da-da. So now it became, from paper dolls to perfume, my story on your journey. Yeah. So now it says something to women. it specifically speaks to women, and it's still a book about poetry, and it still conveys the same thing she wanted to convey, but now the title has a little more oomph behind it. You know what I mean? It speaks a little more about the process. And you just might want to tweak your title just a little bit more. I think it's a little too broad.
Okay.
And it's going to make for a hard sell. But what I will tell you, when it comes to poetry, the best way to sell poetry is in your delivery. So you need to be doing the spoken word. You need to be getting out there hustling. And when you get done hustling, say, buy my book. I've had clients who do poetry. They put their poems on their T-shirts. They put CDs. They pack a CD with the poem book. You know, you like that poem? Here's one. Here's a CD. There's one poem I did tonight is on the CD, but the whole book is here because you got the inflections, you got the pause, you got the delivery, you got the whole sachet, you got all this going on, and they can't get that in the written word, but they can get it when you deliver it. You got to package all that with poetry. Don't put your face on from that book. I swear they won't go on. Yes, ma'am.
If you're going to market like online, is it the same like no face online either? Like
No. If you're marketing, they need to see who you are so they can connect you to the book.
Okay.
Just don't put your face
on the cover. Okay, got you.
Yeah, like I'm on the back. I need them to know this is me. That don't look like you. Is that a compliment? Now, because I asked them in a minute, are you saying I look better here or here? I'm not understanding. But no, they need to, because what happens is lots of times, people say, are you the author? Yes, I am. So you want the proof that you're the author, but you don't prove it like this. You know what I mean? But the image, when you go to get your image for your book cover, there's several websites that you can go to. One of the websites you can go to is Getty Images, Getty images.com. I got this one from the letter I, stock, S-T-O-C-K, photo, P-H-O-T-O.com, for this book. Now this lady she's doing a pee-pee dance. Every day she's pulling her skirt up, she's pulling her skirt down. She's saying, no, you can't have my goodie, you haven't earned it. But what I was trying, I put in chastity belt, virgin, everything else. I couldn't find none of that. So I searched and finally found her. And the description from the photographer says she has to go to the bathroom or something like this. That's what she did. But it works perfectly for the book. Then my graphic designer did. Now that's just a lady. My graphic designer added the gifts and all the other stuff around it. The image itself is what I purchased. Now here's what you have to do. You go online to one of these websites. There's other websites. They're called royalty-free websites. What that means is you buy the image and you don't have to pay them any more for it. That doesn't mean you go on and take the image and it's free. No. Royalty-free means once you buy it, you don't pay them for it ever again. You can use it for your postcards, your business cards, whatever else. You just buy it at one time. And these are amateur and professional photographers who upload their pictures, and then they want you to, you can use them at your liberty once you pay for it. Do not go on and buy it. Let your graphic designer buy it. You just go on and pick it and let your graphic designer do what they need to do with it, because you may get the wrong version, and then you got to go back and buy it again. Also, don't choose a picture that has a lot of downloads, because that means a lot of people have picked that picture and you don't want to see it on somebody else's book. So this image may very well appear on somebody else's book, but my author, or my graphic designer, then has customized it for me with the gifts and all this other stuff. So this is a unique design. Although the image may be somewhere else, it's not a unique image. You understand what I'm saying? So they need the background. Okay, so you want to do all that. Make sure on the front cover your name is on the front. If you are married, ladies, you may want to consider putting your maiden name in there. I am not a hyphenated. I'm not a this women live, all that thing. It's just about my high school, my premarital friends figuring out that I am now an author. That's the only reason why I did it, because my husband, he'd be like, excuse me? No, boo. There's no passion there. Get over it, son. Get some revenue. Make sure that it's legible. You will be surprised how many people put, don't make your name real big. It ain't about you. Make sure the title is legible. Make sure that your graphic designer, so that by the time your image is shrunk to thumbnail size, because on Amazon it's not much bigger than a thumbnail, they can still identify the image. Facebook, once you get your book cover, make that your profile picture. We don't want to see all this on Facebook. To be your book cover. If you go on my fan page right now, well, not my fan page, my Facebook page, that's my profile. And this was for about 1.5 years. I don't care about y'all seeing more. This right here is what I'm trying to do. And then on the spine, Your graphics designer has to know how to calculate the spine. The width of the spine is very important. If it's miscalculated, you'll have text running around the side or images going the wrong way. So your graphics designer, you know, I have people say, well, I designed my own cover. And when I tell you I've seen some hot dog diggity mess, y'all would not believe. I had this one chick send me a book. She said, I've designed a children's book. It's phenomenal. I was like, really? Send it to me. You know, everybody just send me their stuff. I'm going to tell y'all, when this lady sent me this stuff, here's what she did. These babies probably did this in school. She took construction paper, put her hand on it, traced it, cut it out, and did that and stapled it together on the ends, and that was the cover of her book. And ask my opinion. Sometimes you have to ask Jesus for shut mouth grace. Also on the spine, so make sure you put the cover on the spine, the title on the spine, your name, and then if you do a logo for your publishing company, your logo. Also, if you do fiction, and say you've done African American Christian fiction, you might want to put an image of a chocolate person on the spine, because if you should get into a bookstore, especially like your local bookstore, more than likely you're going to get spine out coverage, because this takes up less space. It might not give you face out, because it takes up more space, it costs them more money. That's prime real estate. You got spine out facing, and somebody's walking by, they'll see a little chocolate face, they might stop and check it out. So always thinking your book cover, this is your first line of defense. Marketing all the time. Always thinking marketing. Even in your writing, think about marketing. In the Goodie Box book, I did some branding of myself, and in book 2, I'm going to do some more branding of myself. Especially in my self-publishing. If your expertise in something and you write about something, I was talking to somebody earlier, she's going to write a book about what she does on her job. Well, she's going to be branding what she does on her job. It's always about thinking about how can I use the book, because at the end of the day, what you're going to find, if you're really good at what you do when you've written your book, it's just going to be a launching platform for whatever comes next. I do speaking engagements now, I do workshops, I do conferences, I'm getting called to do other things that all started from the book. This will be the first step to other things. So always think what can happen next and prepare for that as you're writing and everything else. Okay. Also on the book cover, on the back, you should have your title, then a catchphrase. Something catchy. Mine is what your father didn't tell you and your mother didn't know. Because this is what happens. When people come up to you at different events, they're going to look at the front cover. If it catches their eye, they'll check it out. They'll flip to the back. They may spend about 15 seconds on the back. Of course, they're going to start at the top and work their way down. Your synopsis should be powerful. Should speak to the content of the book. Should be clear and concise, free of typos. I've been to the events where the back cover had typos on it. Who buys a book with a typo on the back cover? For real? I said, that word is misspelled. Oh, yeah, I saw that. And it was the name of her company was misspelled. Your company's misspelled? Not bad, not bad. And if you can't get a review, I have a review from Mother Love. You know Mother Love?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she read all Mother Love did. Bam! I couldn't wait to get that on my phone. So I have a review from her, and then I have a review from a doctor. Anytime you get a PhD, a doctor, or anything like that, that stuff adds credibility. Yeah, that kind of stuff is good on the back of your book. And then a brief bio. Nobody cares that you're the second child of 20. Nobody cares about that. Nobody. Unless it adds to the value of the book. If that has something to do with your writing about it. Other than that, we don't care that you went to school barefoot, walked in the snow. That doesn't add value. This is prime real estate. Make sure it speaks to why you wrote about what you wrote about, what gave you the credibility to write on that subject matter. And then your website. Don't put the www. Just waste the space. Click on it all day and then go take you to the website. Yes, sir.
Since you're talking about the cover and the physical book itself, can you speak about hard copy versus electronic?
Digital?
Yeah, digital, I think.
What? Yeah, let me tell you two last things about the back cover. Make sure that you have this little image right here. It's called the ISB, well, not the image itself, but the numbers there. There's a 13-digit number here called the ISBN. If you have any books, and if you have a little handout there, I think I wrote it on the digit there itself. ISBN, you see it on the little handout somewhere? That is a 13-digit code that is a unique identifier for my book. It's on every book on Amazon. That way you can order through bookstores. You can call the bookstores, not my title, because books can have the same title. So this way, if you give them this book, it's like the Social Security number for my book. So you need that. You need to get those. You can order these from Bowker, BOWKER.com. You can order one of them for $125. You can order 10 of them for $275. If you plan on doing an ebook or more than one book, you need to go on and get the 10 for $275. Bowker, BOWKER.com. If you go on to print, you should have this. This is one of the fastest ways I can tell if a book is self-published or not, because people don't know to do this. The reason why you need this is because connected to that is the price. Together, you make these the barcode. The barcode is what bookstores need to be able to ring your book up. Without this, you can't get on Amazon. Together, these are called the EAN, European Authentication Number. So you need the ISBN connected with the retail price. And if you look on this book, but on other books too, the last 4 digits of this barcode here says $14.95, which is actually, if you see that, is the retail price of the book. Go ahead, pass that around. That's the retail price of the book.
What's that website to get that?
Bowker, BOWKER.com. The last 4 digits of there, see that $14.95? That's the retail price. But what tends to happen is people who don't know any better in self-publishing business, they just order the barcodes and they issue it. It says 9 and then 4 zeros behind it, which means nobody knew any better. It's a dummy number. When it rings up in the bookstore, it says 0. So the bookstore don't know what to charge for the book. So make sure when you order your EAN, European Authentication Number, you tell them the retail price of your book. All that's in my self-publishing book. That's a lot of stuff, ain't it? Yeah. I know it. Good Lord, I love this stuff. Yes. Yes.
So with the price that you say you have to give them, and then they include their, what happens if you want to change the price?
You better not. You better know what you want when you put it out there.
There's something, I noticed it out in the lobby. The print, if it's like the small.
The font size?
I saw it was script and was small. I couldn't read. So whenever I see a book like that,
put it down. Standard size is 12.
Yeah, I have to be able to read.
Standard size is 12 times New Roman.
Not so fancy.
It shouldn't be fancy.
Yeah.
Because like you said, you can't read.
I want to read.
And don't be unique. There's some things you want to do, you want to be unique at. This is not one of them. There's industry standards for a reason. The brain is programmed a certain way. Typewriters are set up at Times New Roman 12 font. That's how the computer's set up. Well, not the computer, but that's how your book should be set up. Times New Roman 12 font. And even when you do with printers, you do some of that fancy stuff. Some of the printers aren't set up to accept that. And you mess yourself up. Yes, sir. You talk about ebooks. What do you want to know about them?
Do you have an experience with
I sure do.
Pros, cons, hard copy versus digital?
Well, you say hard copy. Hardbacks are just about a thing of the past. Amazon says that ebooks have outsold hard books, and ebooks are about to outsell paperbacks. Here's the deal. The thing about ebooks are they cost a lot less to produce because you don't have to print. When it comes to the book business, editing and print costs are your 2 highest expenses. So if you can eliminate printing, you've done a good job. The problem is when it comes to marketing, unless you're savvy with this whole social network and the internet marketing, it can be difficult to market your ebook because you don't have it physically in your hand. But there are some things out there, some things I've been researching now. There are ways that you can still sell your book, and I'm coming across these little cards. I found them, but I haven't quite mastered it yet, where you can have the little cards where you can be out. It's a card that's got your book cover on it, or you can people can buy it from you. You can still be out at venues. They buy this card from you, then they can go and download your ebook later. So you can still be out at venues, they can still get your ebook. But ebooks, yes, you should do your book in print and ebook. Some people still like print. Not everybody does the Kindle and Nook and all that other stuff yet, because they're not that they're pricey, but some people still like to have books in their hands. I think there's an advantage to having print books in that, especially if you're a speaker, you have another tool that you can use, to sell, expose yourself. Of course, then you don't have the shipping and handling if you're dealing with ebooks. What's another?
What about dealing with Amazon? Like, have you found that to be difficult or?
No, the Amazon process to get on Kindle is quite easy. It's kdp.amazon.com, and they have a program called the Kindle Owner Library Lending, which is a great program. Any of you have Kindle? Well, if you have a Kindle, you can borrow books. And I think you have to pay a monthly fee or something like that to borrow books. Well, the way that helps the authors is, if you borrow our book, and you're paying this monthly fee, like borrow 1% of this particular author's total books borrowed that month, and it'll be 1% of the total books for the month, they would get 1% of that 1.2 million. So they get a percentage of however many books are borrowed for that. So it's a great program. But with that, the only thing is you can't be on any other, you can't be on Nook, you can't be on any other electronic device. So they're trying to hold you hostage. So it can be worth it, you know, if you get enough sales this minute. Oh, 3 minutes. Excuse me. Any other questions? Because I definitely didn't get through everything. Copyright, don't mail the book to yourself. Get trouble.
Get trouble.
Black man, well, I think black man. Poor man's copyright? Yeah. Don't mail it to yourself. That's so trifling. People believe that if you mail it to yourself, then you can, that's proof of ownership. That was something that people did back in the day before we had computers. It was documentation because that was the only proof that, you know, because all we had was a writing pen. We didn't have computer. We didn't have timestamps. So if I mail it to myself, the postage department, you know, was proof. But now that we have computers, it's not necessary. But more specifically, you can go to copyright.gov, upload your file for $35, and it's copyrighted by the United States Authorized Library of Congress. And if your book isn't worth $35, you are in the wrong business. Because that is probably one of the least expensive things you're going to have to deal with. So by all means, copyright. Yes. And if you save it to a CD, then you've actually had a form of copyright. Because there's different levels of it anyway. So, any questions before we go? We've got about 3 minutes. Yes.
You said that Art House okay, you said Art House was bad, and I was wondering why you say, and then I wanted to know if you were about Dog Years.
Dog Years is bad too. Yeah, check in. Yep, Dog Years Publishing. Yep. They're pricey. The reason for both of them is they're too pricey. They charge too much for the service they provide. Okay. And with the information I've provided for you, and for the book that I'm letting go today for $20, you can do it yourself. Because here's the deal. The reason why they're too pricey is because now Dog Years, I checked them out because I talked to somebody. What is their pack, like $2,000 or?
I can't remember, but whatever it was, I was like, whoop.
Yeah, I want to say Dog, because I looked at it not too long. I think it was like $2,000 you get 10 books. It's something crazy. A lot of them are like that. Now, I have a publishing company where I publish books for people. And I have a plan. My plan is $2,000. You get 150 copies of your book. But you also get a promotional banner. You get a banner about this big with your book cover on it. You get 1,000 postcards. You get my expert guidance. You know, I put you on Kindle. I do all these other things too. I'm teaching you along the way, so you're getting my expert guidance. I'm just not giving you 10 books and say, holla. The average self-published author only sells 75 books. And it's to my advantage if you sell that 150 so you can come back and get some more. That's what I do. But, you know, most of those other companies, they price the books so high that you can't make a profit. There's no way to make a profit. My intent is to make the books so that you can make a profit. And then my other plan is $4,000 or $39.95 for 500 copies. So those books come out to about $8 a piece. But when you come back to print, then they're like $4 or $5 a piece. So you sell the first 500, the subsequent prints are cheaper because then we don't have to print the cover again. We don't have to pay for the cover zone. I don't have to do the typesetting. You know, other things that I paid for the first, I don't have to pay for it anymore.
Does that include like Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble?
Right, all that stuff. Yeah, like you said on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. I'll put your book on Kindle. You get 1,000 bookmarks. You get a post. I meant to bring my banner today, but I came from another event before I came here. It's about, maybe about, I don't know, what's that, about 12 inches. And it has your book cover on there, a display. You know, I have a CD that DVD that I give you that tells you a little bit about the business. Well, now what I do is instead of DVD, you know, my customer finds the book. My thing is to help you be successful because I understand that it's not just about giving you these books because it's a business. It's a lot of work. So, what I want to tell you, because she said 3 minutes. I don't know if there's another 3 minutes left, 4 minutes ago. I talk right on through that, huh? So I need to give away a book. And what I want to tell you was, now I went to my printer. Now these are how my books are supposed to look. My journals are supposed to look. This one is 200 pages. This one is 116 pages. This one goes for $25. And like I said before, when you get done, you have the finished book in your hand. It goes from everything from editing to finding printers. I give you examples of printers, how to get to the website, and all the other information. And this one steps you through everything you need to know for printing. Well, when I sent this to my printer this last time, I don't know what happened between me or her. I don't know what happened. She didn't put back covers on them. And I said, Bill. Where my covers? Oh my goodness. So this one only goes for $25. This one only goes for $15. So I said, okay, I'm gonna knock the price off of these because I can't, in good faith, I can't sell these for that.